Building a new culinary operation right there called the Lynx Treat. So we can get a smoothie. And this is our first entry into this new realm we're calling Pantopia. We entered through the old Timbuktu Tower, which will be the key gate. So there will be a series of keys hanging there. And what do they open? Is it a door or exactly what is it? And this is Transportation Plaza, where people that came to Pantopia in the past abandoned their vehicles, be it a Jeep, a Land Rover, a three-wheeled cart, and decided to just stay in Pantopia. So that's the Key Gate, Transportation Plaza, Lake Street. But what's that smell? Let's go this way. Let's find out. Who's been to Busch Gardens before? Most of you? Okay, so you've been to Timbuktu before. And when this was originally opened in the late 70s, it had a lot of...
1983.
No, well, Timbuktu opened in 78.
Yeah, it opened in about 82 or 83.
Okay. When it did, it had a lot of the pink colors that were kind of thematic to Africa. But in 2003, we created this overlay of patterns on that. Now we're going to completely reinvent it with all these vibrant colors. So the Desert Grill will take on this kind of theming, and to the left of it will be the Dragon's Fire Grill. So anything that can have a dragon in it and have fire in it, it's got to be pretty cool. So we'll have show grilling taking place out here so they can smell it. They can see what culinary offerings are inside, and they'll be able to see it right here at the Dragon's Fire Grill. But if you're interested, yes?
Is the menu in here going to be changing also?
It's going to stay pretty much the same. So, but we right now it's going to stay the same. Red dog one, red dog leader. Read your own beer. Okay. So we're going to go, we have Lake's Treats over here. We have the Dragon Fire Grill right here, so that we're going to bring right to the forefront all those things that we grill so you can see it and you can smell it and you'll want to go into the Desert Grill to get something. And we have a couple more that we're going to go see right now. So who wants a pretzel? We have the Phoenix that gets a new paint job. Then behind here is the Busch Flyers, a children's airplane ride that we had to take out to build a crane, but it goes back. Back in the corner is a motorcycle ride for children that will be reopened. And then we had a train ride that we had to take out, but it'll come back longer than ever. Behind us is our carousel that's now called the Grand Caravan Carousel. It was inspired by a Bedouin traveler that settled here with his rugs and tapestries. So we're going to decorate it as if it's full of tapestries and rugs. So we're going to go into the arcade, and the rest of us will catch up. When Timbuktu opened, this was an arcade where our guests could come in and put quarters in machines and do a variety of things. We actually stripped it down to the floor, ceiling, back to the walls. And one of our travelers here in Pantopia saw two lemurs interacting, and when they sat back to back, their tails had the shape of a pretzel. So he was inspired as a baker to make hand pretzels in here. So our guests, when we're finished, will be able to see that process taking place, and we're going to have a variety of craft beers in here that will both be domestic and international craft beers. So is that all right? Is that an amen for the craft beer? Amen for the craft beer. There's another one that defines the edge of Pantopia. So if you come from Jungala, you'll come through this entry point, and you can see in this rendering the richness of the theming and the detailing. Behind me is the Timbuktu Theater, which originally opened with a dolphin show. Does anybody remember the dolphin show? A few of you?
Mickey and Bud.
There we go. In 2003, we converted it to a 4D theater where you could be in a seat that interacted with you with ticklers and spritzers and vibrations and things like that, and you watched a movie. We are now converting it to a brand new theme for critters. So this will be Pantopia Theater, and we're going to go inside and see what's going on inside. Okay? When this was a 4D theater and the seats were interactive, you're watching a very large screen. So your vision, your view is kind of up at this big back wall. Now that we're going to convert this to a critter show, where the actors will be the dogs and cats and other exotic pets, you need to be able to see that. So we found that the sight lines weren't the best for that kind of show. So we tore everything out and we actually raised the back of the theater by 8 feet so that everyone will have a great view of those wonderful pets that somehow are trained better than our own pets back home. The theme of this particular show will be the trainers can't get the animals to do anything right. And they're just so frustrated and they don't know if they're going to be able to keep their jobs. But at the end, the animals take sympathy on them, start to behave and do the tricks correctly. The trainers turn out to be able to keep their jobs and everything works out, courtesy of the animals. So this is our new pet show.
Is that going to be similar to Pets Ahoy over at SeaWorld?
It's similar in that there will be scenery that the animals come in and out of and interact with. There will be the same number of animals. There are about 80 different animals in this show.
Are they for rescue?
Some of them are. I'm not, we've got a kangaroo, so he wasn't rescued. And we got a porcupine, but many of the dogs and cats were rescued. We're good. Now, we came in through Pantopia from the east, but would it be fair for our people that came in from Jungala not to have an opportunity to buy a snack? It wouldn't be fair. So we're going to open the kennel corn right over here. Now that used to be one of our games that had a 4-sided game, and we retired that game and a couple others for back of house culinary. So we're going to have snacks, grab and go, and kettle corn right here. Now, if you look closely at the rendering, you will notice something's missing. The Harris Snacks is not in the picture. So we're actually going to remove this building so that you have a better view of our games that are remaining, and you'll have an opportunity to go in and play our games. Now, this will be a good chance. We're all standing still and you've been great so far. Do you have any questions of me?
Tell me about the theater inside, what it's going to be, what you guys are creating in there, what it was, and what it's going to be.
When Timbuktu opened, we originally had a dolphin show in that theater. We converted it in 2003 to a 4D theater. So we had a screen and a movie that you wore glasses, but the seats interacted with the people, with ticklers and spritzers and buzzers and fans. Now we are converting it to a critter show called Opening Night Critters. And we'll have dogs, cats, and other exotic pets that will come on stage. And so we had to realign the seating so that our guests would all have a great view of what our critters can do. If only I could get my own pets to do any of these things, I would be a hero.
What is the show can expect to be completed?
Well, we're going to open late spring, early summer, and we haven't announced the deadline because we want to be able to release that one more time to the media.
Great.
Any other questions?
Leaving aside the drop tower itself, the changes that are happening in the area around it, is there an overriding philosophy? It seems like a new mix of food and maybe reducing some of the carnival or arcade games. What's the overriding idea behind the makeover?
I would say our overriding view is to reinvent this area. We originally, right as soon as we closed or opened Cheetah Hunt in 2011, we were working on this attraction. And the beginning was just the tower ride. And where would we put it within Busch Gardens? And when we decided in Timbuktu and removed the sandstorm, then we immediately began to question what else should we do? Should we reinvent Timbuktu, call it something else? how will our guests know when they come in here this is completely different? And with the color schemes, it really being so well detailed is important. The culinary and merchandising opportunities now are here. We know that people will want to stay and ride Falcon's Fury, or if not, watch their friends and family ride Falcon's Fury. So they'll be lingering and they can get their kettle corn or their smoothie or their craft beer. Giving a shout out for the craft beer. So that was our thinking. Any other questions?
Why did you guys decide to name it Pantopia?
Well, I wasn't involved. Is that your question?
That was going to be my question.
Okay. Why Pantopia? Mark, why Pantopia? We had a creative group that looked at many different opportunities. We narrowed it down to a few, and then we kind of workshop it. And Pantopia seemed to not draw us to a specific place on Earth like Timbuktu did, but yet could be anything we wanted in our imagination. So it was an overarching word that we thought would be great for this area.